the Clicks crew. Alright guys, today we are doing the full set review for the Marvel Heroclix Fantastic Four Future Foundation Heroclix set. I've had a chance to play through this set a little bit. I think I found some good figures. We're going to talk about them in generalities. If you haven't seen one of my set reviews, I don't really do a deep dive on any of the figures. I save more of that for like my top 10, top 5 lists for each set, but this will be basically quick thumbs up, quick thumbs down. There might be some explanation where I feel like it needs to be made, but other than that, I try to keep it right around 45 minutes for one of these full set reviews, so I got to go through pretty quickly. Yeah, overall, I really like this set a lot. Tons of new sculpts in this set and figures that have never been clicks before, so that alone makes me really like this set. But also the Sidekick captain mechanic seems really strong, as well as the sideline active characters, and then the Chase Dooms having basically a shifting focus trait. It's not called shifting focus, but it's essentially what it is for at the beginning of the game. But overall, I like this set a lot. I'd highly suggest you acquire some of them. Maybe you can pick some figures out from this set. And since I mentioned that, now's a good time to let you know that Mr. Clicksflix is sponsored by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for our gaming needs. Visit LuckyDiceCafe.com or use their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. Mr. Clicksflix is also sponsored by TrollandToad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Visit TrollandToad.com and use the promo code Mr. Clicksflix for 5% off your Heroclix order. So if you want to get sealed product, either one of those places are good people to visit. And then Lucky Dice Cafe does a lot of singles on Oxit and also on eBay, I believe they still do. And then Troll and Toad, of course, has a ton of singles if you're interested there. So today we're using a different web page for our Clicks figure viewing. I wanted to try it. I've seen them post a bunch of stuff online, and I was like, you know what, I want to give them a try and see how I like it. So we're visiting clicksnexus.com for this review. So you guys let me know in the comments below if you like this better than HC Realms. If you do, maybe I'll start using this for my set reviews and stuff like that. Or if you'd rather have me, stick with HC Realms, let me know that too. Yeah, we're just visiting the units section, although this website seems to have a forums section and stuff like that too. So something worth checking out if that's something that you want. Not affiliated with the channel at all or anything. I just thought this would be something different for you to look at. Alright, so here we go. We are with number 1, Mr. Fantastic. 2 different point lines, 60 points and 40 points. He has that captain, I don't know if we want to call it keyword trait, but he's got the captain trait, leadership, friendly sidekicks can use leadership. That's really strong. He's got outwit, and then his 40-point line. Typically with me, I like the lower point lines. They're just a little bit more potent in my opinion. You still get the outwit, you still get the leadership for your sidekick characters. Now something that I want to mention, basically I like all the sidekicks and all the captains. They all have their place in the game, so even if I don't necessarily like the dial for the captain mechanic and sidekick mechanic, I generally on the whole will like them. If there's one that I don't like, I'll tell you. This is probably one of the weaker ones, and still leadership for all your sidekicks can be really strong. And then, like I said, he also has this outwit. Alright, and then something to keep in mind too is new rules will be coming out soon. If you want to see the rules, they are WizKids, Heroclix.com. Go there. And then they do have under the rules section the new 2021 core rulebook and powers and abilities card, so you can familiarize yourself with that. That's not going to take effect until April 2021, but still it'll give you a chance. So like here we're looking at Invisible Woman number F002. This is the scroll version of Invisible Woman, and as you can see, she's got willpower, in cap and stuff like that, but she's gonna, this willpower right now means she can just take 2 actions and not take a click, but in April it means that she's basically going to be able to roll to remove a die from herself since no figure will ever take pushing damage. So just something to take into consideration. Speaking of this invisible one, not bad. I played her. She's not bad. That in cap is good. In cap in the new set, to me, or not new set, new rules, kind of takes a little bit of a hit because you're not dealing that one penetrating, but it can still be nice to jam up an opponent on action economy. Next, we have 003, The Thing. This is the Skrull version of The Thing. What's nice about this, Skrull's team ability. And he's got that close combat expert. Again, new rules. That means that he's going to be an 11 for 4 for close combat for 30 points. I'll take that. Then we have Human Torch. This is the regular Johnny Storm. He's got a 40 point and a 60 point line. 6 range to target. He's a captain. And his thing is barrier. Barrier is free, but only to generate 1 marker adjacent to a friendly sidekick regardless of range and line of fire. So it's not next to each sidekick, but it is next to a sidekick. Free barrier, I've never seen a time that I didn't want it. And it is nice that it's regardless of range and line of fire. Johnny himself, typical stuff that you'll see. Again, I feel like range combat expert will get a little bit better for him, but still not bad. And then we see the 40 point line. He probably gets he's got 1 click of running shot energy explosion there. Next we have Spider-Man number 005. I think this is one of the stronger captains in the set, not because of anything this dial does. This dial is actually not great. You've got perplex, okay, but no move and attack. And then when you do have move and attack, you do 2 damage, and you can't perplex up your damage anymore. And hypersonic means you're going to have to be really good with your placement on of either light objects or I don't know. You might not even be able to do an object attack now that I'm thinking about it, or your empower to get him +1 damage. But this is his showstopper. Why you're playing him anyway is his captain thing. Don't forget to look both ways before crossing the street. Friendly sidekicks can use super senses. This is super effective. Like I said, he's got 2 different point lines, 60 points and 40 points. There is no legitimate reason ever to play him at 60 points. You only play him at 40 points. You still get your 1 perplex, so you can support from the back. If he does end up getting clicked 1 click, okay, you've got a little bit of hypersonic to do some cleanup. But that's it. You have them for the super senses. Next is She-Hulk, number 006. Charge, super strength, impervious, destroys blocking. Once per turn, you may re-roll an attack roll that has a 4. So this is that version of Fantastic Four's extra thing. 75 points feels a little costly, especially when we take a look at that Skrulls thing. I feel like this is a little much, but again, she's not terrible. The Indom's not going to be as helpful here in a month and a half, but still not terrible, but not good. Next up is Ant-Man from the same Fantastic Four crew. Here we've got leadership. He's got that same Fantastic Four for 4 minutes. Leadership, poison, 19 defense, pretty good. Wish he had a super sense up there, but he does get a 19 with super senses at the end of his dial. I wish the end of this dial was at the front of the dial. I would have happily just traded places. But it is what it is. They could have even kept the shape change back here and had the leadership up here. But beggars can't be choosers. This one's I'm mixed on it not having any kind of a rollout on that 19. Next is Medusa. She's got TK, ignores elevated. She's probably the worst one of them. She's got that sidestep TK, plasticity, precision strike. Now she will get a little bit better with this close combat expert, getting her an 11 for 4, which is going to be good late dial or mid game. Then we've got Thing Robot. Thing Robot's good, not because Thing Robot's good, but Thing Robot is good when you take him into consideration with the sidekicks, because most of the sidekicks, quite frankly, they don't have good attack or damage powers, but He has a trait which says remote controlled gaming fun. Friendly sidekicks have power. Choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Move Thing Robot up to its speed value, or Thing Robot makes a close attack. So basically, you can, between your two sidekicks, let's say you ran 2 sidekicks with him, you could give one a power action, move him, then move him again for basically a 14 square movement, and then power action, make it a close attack for 4 damage. For 20 points, not bad. Now again, you got to have some kind of synergy with it, but it reduces by 2, 10 attack, 4 damage for 20 points. I mean, that's good. I'd play that all day, every day. Then we have Leech here. He has the Sidekick key phrase. I don't know what they call it, but he's a sidekick. And he has Outwit for 20 points. Not bad. I mean, this is not the greatest Leech we've ever seen, but he's got a lot of survivability when you look at what some of the captains give him. He's got this blank dial, and you're like, oh, it looks bad. But again, I'm telling you, when you look at these sidekicks and these captains as a whole and not on an individual figure basis, they're really good and have a lot of synergy. Here we have Mick, I think is how you say his name. Sidekick, this is one of the Moloid ones. This is your close combat guy. He's got exploit weakness. You're going to have to move and then attack. But as you notice, these sidekicks, they don't have Indom or anything like that, so they will be getting a pretty big buff, in my opinion, once the new rules become official, because then he can move and then next turn attack, so that he doesn't take push click. Here we have Vil. This is one of the Atlantis kids. Sidekick again, close combat expert. So we're looking at an 11-3 in the future. Not bad for 10 points, huh? Then we have Mad Thinker. This is where we're starting to get good. And again, I said this was a good set overall, so don't be surprised if I say something's good a lot. So for 40 points, gets us Outwit. Willpower again means in the future he's going to be clearing tokens from himself. Ally. He's got 2 traits. One's Council of Doom, Engineering Expert, Sideline Active. So that means he can be on your sideline without necessarily paying points, and the Sideline Active is what he does while he's there. Friendly character captains and sidekicks modify attack +1 when attacking 1+ characters with the robot keyword. So how many robot keyword teams do you know? You can basically have this guy on your sideline for free, and then anybody that has that captain or sidekick key phrase gets +1 to their attack if they're attacking that robot. That's really good there, and you didn't even have to pay any points. Then he's got this other trait, which is Unraveling Robotics in the Underworld. Perplex, but only target characters with the robot keyword. So we've got a conditional Perplex, we've got an Outwit, and then even if you don't want to pay the 40 points for this guy on your team, which 40 points for a conditional Perplex and Outwit could be good. Plus, if you've got Fantastic Four, Robot, or Scientist keywords, you got somebody that can soak up theme prob tokens for right now. Although, again, in the future, we won't be handing those out, but it is an additional person that can do it. But even if you don't want him for that stuff, he's worth just having on your sideline for the +1 attack if you happen to play against a team. And on top of that, you can get them for 20 points if you don't feel like paying the full 40-point version. You can have that Perplex, conditional Perplex, Outwit, or you can have them on your sideline for free. So again, just things to look at. Then we have the B version, because Mad Thinker is one of our primes. So we've got a pretty decent assortment of keywords here. Robot and Scientist being his 2 strongest ones. Sidestep Perplex, the only powers point showing up on his thing. 2 traits. First one is Simulacrum Body. When Mad Thinker would be KO'd, you may instead replace him with a 13A Mad Thinker on its red starting line, and that character may be placed in a square within 6 squares of the square this character occupied protected pulse wave. So basically you're giving this guy a couple extra clicks for free. To me, that's good. And then he's got this other trait, Probability Obsession, Probability Control, but only to target characters with the robot keyword regardless of range or line of fire. So it's full board probability control as long as they have as long as they have the robot keyword. That's really good. This is a solid guy for robots. If you have robots, I'd highly suggest, if robots is something that you run, I'd highly suggest picking this guy up. He's cheap. Next, we have Valeria. She's a sidekick. She has Perplex. She's 20 points. She's got Energy Shield Deflection. Again, you throw in the other things like the Spider-Man we talked about. Hands out super senses. Somebody else we're going to talk about later has Shape Change. You've got a highly survivable 20-point figure here. Somebody else gives Toughness. You know, these guys are good. Next, we have Franklin. He's a sidekick. He's your TKer. 20 points again. Not terrible for a TK and somebody that can just take your theme props. This guy probably, I don't know. I like the TK, so just something to consider having a cheap TK. Next, we have Jack Powers. So the Power Pack all have this trait. Everybody that's in a Power Pack has this trait. We swap powers again free. If you have 2+ characters with this trait and different names on your force, choose one of those friendly characters until your next turn. Jack Powers has the chosen character, and the chosen character can't use their displayed powers and instead can use the other's displayed powers and range values and can't be chosen for or activate this effect. So basically you can swap powers with other Power Pack kids. Again, individual Power Pack kits, maybe not so great. When you look at them as like 4 or 5 of them, not bad. So here Jack's got a 10 movement with Sidestep and Flight, and he's got Close Combat Expert, so he's going to be an 11 for 3 when the rules change happens. Not bad for 25 points, and then he can switch that out with other people's powers. Definitely something to look into. Next we have Kate. Katie Powers. Sorry about that. Long day of talking. Anyway, 25 points again, 6 range, single target. She's got Energy Explosion, Exploit Weakness. 2 powers that don't really go together, but they could prove really beneficial. Again, she's got that swap powers. Good powers to have. Then we're going to scroll down here. Just realized that we were all the way there. So now we're to the uncommons. We've got uncommon Mr. Fantastic. This is the Scrolls version. Let's make it so you can see maybe. So he's got 10 attack, poison, 18 super senses, plus the Scrolls team ability. So he's got 2 rollouts. 30 points, not bad. And he's got an Empower. Again, not bad, not great, but not bad. I can remember couple years ago, all this for 30 points, people would have been, saying how it was broken. So just, keep that in perspective. Next, we have Invisible Woman. This is number 19. This is the regular Susan Storm. She's a captain. She's got 2 different point values, 60 points and 40 points. She's got TK. She's got 18 with Defend. Okay, so we always like to see Susan with Defend. That's pretty classic. Flight ability. If we're playing right now, we want to push her to that 19 Defend. In the future, I'm not quite sure how we're going to get there. But she's a captain, and what does she do when she's a captain? I consider all my children, all my children, once per turn. When a friendly sidekick is targeted by an attack, you may replace that sidekick's defensive value with Invisible Woman's printed defensive value. So it's basically full board defend for one character. Pretty good. Again, like I said, you start considering all these captains and sidekicks with them, as a whole. You start to see a pretty formidable force. Again, 40 points, 18 defend. And then even if you don't want to defend, if you can figure out a way to get to click, what would be click 3 or click 6, depending on where you're at, you get to a 19 barrier and you can still share that 19. Next, we have Human Torch. This is the Skrull version. Again, much improved with the rule change. He'll be an 11-4 for 30 points with Running Shot. I don't know what you want for 30 points other than that. He's got Barrier, Running Shot. Granted, he can't fly. Okay, but he's an 11-4. So he's got a rollout. It's just overall a good figure. And I skipped one. I skipped the thing. How could I do this? So this is the uncommon thing. Again, 60 points and 40 points. As you can see, pretty good little bruiser here. I wish that first click had Impervious. I'd even take a 17 with Impervious if that meant that I still got the 60 points. He's can destroy blocking. Okay, so I think these are the only 2 characters in the set that have the destroy blocking. I do think in the future, seeing how many characters have barrier, that destroy blocking might become important. But his trait is you got to be tough, kid. Friendly sidekicks can use toughness. So this is a global effect, and all friendly sidekicks can use toughness. That's really good, especially when you're like, well, I'm just going to pay 40 points for that. Thing is a decent secondary attacker at a 10 attack with Quake, 3 damage. You know, nothing wrong there if you wanted to use him. Then we have Miss Thing. This is just not... I don't care for her. Improved movement ignores hindering terrain, which is basically going to be wasted here in the future. She does have Empower. She's got Flurry. But for 75 points, those 2 10s at the front and back are bordering on inexcusable. But she does have 9 clicks for 75 points, so with some pretty decent reducers. So something to consider there. If you like her as a character, I could see you wouldn't be totally making it so that you can never win if you ran her. Next we have Doom. He's got 2 different point lines, 75 points and I believe 30 points. So here we are, minions of Doom and Fantastic Four team abilities. 10 attack with Psychic Blast, 18 with a special for defense, 3 damage outwit. He's a captain and ally. He's got 2 traits and special on his defenses. First trait is Council of Doom's expert on destroying Richard's sideline active unique modifier. Friendly captains and sidekicks modify attack +1 when attacking 1+ character with Fantastic Four keyword. I think in sealed that'd be a pretty big deal, right? And he can do this from your sideline for free at no additional cost to your team. Again, remember 300 points. You only got 9 of those slots, but you know, especially in sealed, you're not going to be using too many of those. So this would be a good use of him. His other trait is the Strong Survive. Once per turn, when an opposing character is healed after resolutions, you may heal 1 click on Dr. Doom or a sidekick. So that is pretty good there. So if you are facing a team with a lot of regen or support, this is a good way to kind of dissuade them from that. Defend, energy, shield, deflection, and vulnerability are what he gets for that defensive slot. At 30 points, again, like I always say, the low point values are what I like. I think there's 1 or 2 figures in this set, and I'll tell you when we get there that I like better than their low points. But generally, for 30 points, this would be a good investment. Next, we have Bentley 23. So he's got Mastermind, and then he's got a trait. He is a sidekick. All right, so that's why we're looking at him here. Leadership, when Bentley 23 uses it, succeeds. Instead of the normal effect, he may remove an action token from all adjacent sidekicks. When he uses it, and the result is 1, remove an action token from an opposing character of your choice. So basically, it's souped up leadership, which is great. Next, we have Artie, and he's got mind control and in cap, triple target. Okay, so triple target. Once I get up here where you can see, triple target in cap is super strong. Triple target mind control is super strong. Best friends is his trait. He's also a sidekick, so he's getting all those juicy captain and ally abilities that we've been talking about. His best friends trait: if a friendly character named Leech is on the force, Artie and Leech have a range of 8 when using their displayed powers. Okay, so we've got an 8 range with 11 attack. That's good. This is a good figure. 8 squares out, triple target in capping can really make it difficult on your opponent. Next up, we have Tong. Tong has this. He's got Force Blast and Super Senses. Improved movement ignores hindering. But this is the showstopper for this one. The Moloid Kids, Milk Core, and Trug. A unique modifier: if the listed characters are on your force, Tong and the listed characters modify their combat values +1. So this would be an 8, 11, 18, 3. Okay, so this, the 3 of them together are only 35 points. 35 points for what is essentially, +1 to all stats. They end up being really good, and they're sidekicks that are getting all the stuff from the friendly captains and allies. Next up is Wu. This is the other fish kid. And he does something pretty cool, which is the Uhar kids. If a friendly character named Vil is on your force, Wu and Vil have passenger 1, but only to carry sidekicks. So this is a way to help you get all your sidekicks around the board, because if you notice, they're all between like 25 and 10 points. So you're going to have a lot of them. Flurry, 10 attack, 2 damage. Not a bad little cleanup guy if you need it. That 16 kind of hurts, but again, we're talking about, we've seen characters that, give toughness and super senses. We'll see one later that gives shape change. Very survivable, more survivable than you'd think with the right combination. Next, we have Franklin. This is the power pack version of Franklin. So here he is. He's got 8 with phasing teleport, 1 damage with probability control. Only 25 points. 1 trait, I have so much fun on our sleepovers. Perplex, but only target friendly characters with power pack keyword. So, we're switching powers with the other 4 power pack kids. And then he can use Perplex. And he's got a prob. Again, if we notice on the power pack kids that we've seen so far in Franklin, no sidekick on that. So they are going to kind of have to stand on their own. So next, we're going to look at Alex powers. This is still the power pack version, the younger version of him. We will see an older version here in a minute, although they use the same skull, but they represent him at 2 different ages. Force Blast, TK flight ability, and that swap powers again. For 25 points, again, not bad when you consider all the powers that all of them can get at different times to help them. I think in the right player's hands, are they meta? No. Are they playable? Yes. Julie powers. This is, in my opinion, the best of the power pack. With the hypersonic speed, 10 attack, 3 damage. She does have the swap powers again thing, but for 25 points, I mean, what do you want? Like, this is just a good figure. Then we have Wizard. This is the non-prime version. He's got 2 different point lines. 60 points and 30 points. 2 traits. He's one of those allies again. Council of Doom, with the sideline active, +1 for scientists. Anti-grav disc. Choose an opposing character within range and line of fire. Not the character back number scores equal to half the result in the direction. Not bad. The prime is really the where it's at, and the prime at 25 points. So we're just going to look at that. He's got an 8-minute running shot, 10 attack, TK, 3 damage with leadership. Ignores elevated hindering and characters. Has this helmet visor scanner free. Choose a character within range line of fire. This turn, lines of fire drawn to that character can't be blocked or hindered. That's big. So that's really good there. Next, we have Jim Hammond, and we're going to speed this up just a little bit because we have been talking for quite some time. Jim Hammond's here. So you have, 75 and 35 points. Again, we're looking at the low point value with him. His big thing is being a captain, and friendly sidekicks can use Mastermind, but only choose Jim Hammond regardless of adjacency. I can't tell you how often just using the reduced by 2 from invulnerability for that Mastermind will make it so that your guys can survive. You'll have your opponent think, oh, I'll just send somebody over here, flurry them for 1 for a couple turns in a row to eat through it. They get lucky and you miss your 2 rollouts. And then you're like, nope, I'm soaking that 2 damage with this guy all the way in the back. Piebox, somebody we haven't seen in a long time. And sadly, he's not the greatest, but he's also not terrible. Unique modifier, friendly characters with the scroll keyword, modify attack +1 when attacking only characters with Fantastic Four keyword. In set, this is good. In general, not great. And then he's got sort of a pick a power, energy explosion, in-cap, quake, super strength. Okay, not bad, not great. 75 points, can soak up quite a lot of damage. This is one of the ones. This is one of the ones where I liked it better at 75. At 75 points, you get 3 more clicks, but one of them is invincible. So this is one that you want to play at 75. Next up, we have Alex Powers. This is the older version. And he is a captain and a sidekick for only 50 points, 4 range, triple target. Sidestep, when he uses it after resolutions, you may move a friendly sidekick up to 2 squares. So you can give somebody extra movement. And then he's got barrier. Barrier is free, but only to generate 2 markers that can't be diagonally adjacent to each other. So pretty decent there. Not super great. This actually, it's kind of weak. But the free barrier can be good on the right map. For 50 points, I wish he was 10 points less, and I'd say he was really good. That's what I'm struggling with. But the basically giving somebody free sidestep and then the free barrier, he's not terrible, but not great. Then we've got Julie Powers. This is the rare version. This one's really good too. I think Julie Powers, both versions are the best versions. Both of them are the 2 best Power Pack characters. 50 points again. Captain Sidekick, and she's got this special on her movement, Need a Ride. Hypersonic speed. When Julie Powers uses it, you may choose a friendly sidekick that she moved adjacent to during the action, and after resolutions, place that sidekick adjacent to her. That is phenomenal. Again, only getting better with the rules update. 18 super senses, 3 damage, leadership. For 50 points, I'm not sure what else you'd want. Next up, we have Dragon Man. He's a captain. Has free choose a friendly sidekick. This turn that they have passenger 2, but only to carry sidekicks. So it's basically a souped up version of what we saw with Vil. I don't know. One of the fish people. Woo, I think, is who hands that out. 30 points. Indom, giant size. But he does have close combat expert, so in the future this will be an 11-4, and it will combine with that charge. 30 points, pretty good, huh? Next up is Adolf Impossible. If I can click on it. Adolf Impossible is quite frankly one of the best figures in this set. Full dial pulse wave. A little tricky to pull that off, honestly. His thing, though, is the sidekick, and then he also has my dad thinks I'm entirely too possible power. If there's no d6 on this card, roll a d6 and place it on this card. When a character within range and line of fire rolls for an attack, you may remove the d6 from this card and replace the die with the in the roll with it. So it's dice replacement, and you can put it back on this card. This is a phenomenal figure for 25 points. And then again, take into consideration with all those captains, he's going to be hard to deal with. Next is, I clicked on the wrong guy. Core. This is the rare, whatever it is, Moloid. So he's got not great stats, but he does make a free Turg token, which has hypersonic speed, and then ignores characters. After resolutions, deal 1 damage to an opposing character he moved through during this action. Now, again, keep in mind, he doesn't get +1 to his stats, but Core does. So he's going to be an 18. Okay, but basically you have a chance to deal 2 damage with the Pog, 1 without hitting, which is good. Next up, we have Awesome Andy, and this is the one I've been talking about where he hands out Shape Change. He's a captain. Friendly sidekicks can use Shape Change. That's good. 35 points. He's got 2 different point lines, 70 and 35. I like him better at 70. 70, he's got invulnerability when Awesome Andy or an adjacent friendly character succeeds using Shape Change or is missed by an attack. After resolutions, remove an action token from that character. I mean, come on, that's good. Especially you figure he'll be adjacent to all to some kids potentially. They make their Shape Change roll. It's like, oh, guess removing a token. Next we have Human Torch, 75 points. This guy's he's phenomenal. Running Shot, Pulse Wave is the special, and then his he deals knockback when he does it, and then adjacent friendly characters have Protected Pulse Wave. It's just good. It's just all around good. Regen at the end. 7 range. He's phenomenal. Next is Kristoff. Quite frankly, he's okay, not great. Mind control, sidestep, stealth for 75 points. I need, I don't know. Stop, impervious when this click is revealed. Knock back all opponents, all adjacent opponents and characters 2 squares. I don't know. This guy, he just, for 75 points, I need more than sidestep, I guess is what I'm getting at. Elijah is 50 points. And I like this figure. Fantastic Four scrolls and shape change, so that means she's succeeding her shape change on 4 through 6. Enhancement, perplex, but only if adjacent to opposing characters. And then she has charge stealth when Elijah occupies hindering terrain and uses charge, modify her attack and damage +1. So she's going to be a 12 for 4 if you time this right. She's got a rollout with the scrolls team ability. For 50 points, she's not a bad little tie-up character. Next, we have Nathaniel Richards. We're just going to look at the 25-point version. He's got this really cool trait. I was looking at how to use it earlier today, some things to kind of maximize this with. But free, Nathaniel Richards is holding or adjacent to an object. Remove that object from the game. If you do, choose Nathaniel Richards or an adjacent friendly character and a standard attack power. The chosen character can use the chosen power until your next turn. Really good there, right? I think that's pretty good little power there. Fantastic Four is a good keyword, so is Future Past Scientist. Armor's not bad. Energy Shield, Deflection, and Toughness. If you want to pay the full 40 points, basically you're paying for 2 more clicks that have enhancement so that you can buff those ranged attacks. Next is Molecule Man. He's 100 points and 30 points. You never ever will be paying the 100 points, and the 30-point figure is one of the best figures in this set. Get you one of these. He's only rare, 8 range, triple target, cosmic energy, which is power cosmic. I guess that's just what they're replacing it with. Has this trait, molecular manipulation. Smoke cloud is free. Roll a d6 and choose a number of non-debris terrain markers within range up to the result. Replace those markers with any combination of hindering, water, or blocking terrain markers. At the beginning of your next turn, remove all markers placed this way. Alright, so let's say your opponent doesn't want you to get by them. They have some kind of special thing that generates hindering, but it doesn't go away. Okay, snap your fingers, you turn them into blocking terrain. Beginning of your turn, they go away because you changed it. Okay, now your opponent has to start over. Your opponent's playing the new Invisible Woman, Queen of Atlantis. She's generating water terrain. Nope, you're changing it to hindering terrain, and then you're getting rid of it at the beginning of your next turn. You see how this can be really powerful? Your opponent has blocking terrain that they put up via barrier. You say, okay, nope, I'm going to make it water terrain and just shoot right across it. This figure is bonkers. He can be bonkers. It's crazy. He's also got that outwit. He's got barrier himself. He's got triple target in cap. This guy has it all. And to date myself, and a bag of chips. He's just good. You need one of these. Next we have Ramatut. Sadly, he needs more than a 10 attack. I can't endorse this figure. However, I do like the idea of the finalized attack roll. So hopefully we get more of this. Red Ghost is number 46 in the set. This guy's legit. Scientist and animal, just got an Alpha Striker here. So basically, what you do is you can phasing out your 8 squares. You generate for free all your Super Apes, and then your Super Apes move for there. So you move 8. What you could do too is you could TK him out. So you TK him out your 6, then he moves 8. That takes us up to 14 squares. Then you generate a one of these Super Apes. So you've got another ape with TK. You've got an ape with shape change and super senses, and you've got an ape with charge and super strength. So you could perplex up his attack to an 11, have him charge in carrying a heavy object, TK him out there for another 6 squares. So in addition to that 14 squares we moved, that gets you up to 20, and then you only have to use, the whole board is only 24 squares. You're probably starting at 22 away, so you've only got 2 more squares to charge to get there. So all that for 50 points, and you're able to potentially deliver a debilitating blow for 5 is not bad. And then you've got your other 2 figures for repositioning purposes and tie-up purposes. I like this figure a lot. Next is Diablo. You're only going to play him at his lower point value. And he comes with this Alchemiel thing. I think we'll probably talk about all the objects at the end. But for 35 points, he's not terrible with the 12 energy explosion, running shot, 5 range, dual target. Okay, you can see how that'd be really good. And then, oh wait, did I click on the wrong guy? I clicked on the wrong guy. There we go. That's why that didn't seem right. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, I don't think he has to. I don't actually own this figure, so that's why I'm trying to get a beat on one. But so for 60 points, there you go. This is why I was talking about. He's an ally. Gives +1 to attack to friendly captains and sidekicks when attacking mystical keyword. That's why you have him. And then he's got in-cap. Smoke cloud is free, but only generate 3 markers in adjacent squares. So this guy's not bad, but you're never paying the 60 points. You're just using him for this. And then the other Diablo is the 35.1. And he has that 12 attack with energy explosion and running shot. For 35 points, this guy's actually quite good. And then his other thing gives him all kinds of cool powers. The Alchemiel Fire. I wouldn't go out of my way to get this figure. The rare is probably more usable long term. But if you pull him, there's no reason to get rid of him. Stardust is really good. 100 points, 6 range, single target, power cosmic energy, I guess. Running shot, a pulse wave that you can put basically wherever you want, and then you place characters adjacent to her, to it. And then as long as it's within range and line of fire. And then you've got Impervious, 3 damage. You can get her up there. You know, you could use enhancement with a little bit of finagling. Or Perplex if we're doing pre-April. But overall, this character has the potential to be really, really good. Terrax is 100 points also. Not as good as Stardust. Herbie's bonkers. I'm just going to put out there 30 points. Perplex. 17 defend is like, I don't understand why they do 17 defend, but he's got this Captain ability, which is when a sidekick's KO'd, roll a d6 4 through 6. They're not KO'd. You put them on their last KO, non-KO click in a square adjacent to Herbie, and you gain 2 mission points for each sidekick you place this way. And you need 20 mission points to just auto win the game. This guy's crazy. And then he has this other thing, which is where is it? I don't see his. He's got a thing where he. They not have it on. Oh wait, okay. Plus 5 points. They had it in a different place. Like I said, this is the first time I've been here. Plus 5 points. You can give the ultimate nullifier to a Reed Richards that's on your force, which is pretty good. Susan, Queen of Atlantis, is deceptively good. It takes 7 turns to win via mission points with her, but she's not bad for a title character. 70 points I think is pretty fair. She's got that TK. She's got leadership. She's not that good in 300 points, but if you're playing a bigger game and you don't have to rely on her for anything, she can just kind of chill over in a corner by herself and just make water to give you an extra win condition. I think that's good. She can do good for that. Next up is Blackbeard. Not as good as some other things. He does get invincible from the object that he comes with, so that's something to consider. Probably one of my probably my least favorite super rare that comes with an object. Not my least favorite super rare overall, but just my least favorite. Next up is Invisible Boy. This guy's pretty good. So this is Johnny Storm with Susan's powers. Improved targeting, ignores hindering. Opposing characters from the 6 squares can't use stealth. Energy shield deflection, super senses. When he uses super senses and succeeds, after resolutions deal the attack the attacking character 1 penetrating damage. That's good. And then you look at, running shot, invincible. He's just good. For 100 points, he's for sure usable. Meta, no, probably not. Same thing with Silver Savage. Silver Savage is good. Meta, no. But this character and storyline just has a good place in my heart. Steel Energy, but with close or ranged attacks. And then he's got a stop click that gives him invincible, and he gets his surfboard so he can use running shot, and he loses the Battle Fury so he can take advantage of his range. This guy's, I like him, but for sure he's not meta. But we do have a meta guy right here with Uatu, 30 points, 19 defense, giant size with 12 range probability control. As you can see, though, he becomes quite the attacker later on, although he does lose, lose those desirable stats. But there's a few figures with defend and 18s in this set. So this is another mission point guy. Whenever a character within range uses probability control, and the finalized result is different from the original result. So basically, a miss comes to a hit comes to a miss. It's not like they go from a 7 to an 8. Like, it has to change whether it's a hit or a miss, a breakaway or not breakaway. After resolutions, gain 1. Finalized result is different from the original result. After resolutions, gain 1 mission point. A lot of people are saying that finalized result is if I were to hypothetically make you prob control and I used it 10 times, and after the first 9 times were all misses, that 10th time was a hit, I still get 10 mission points because I used prob 10 times. I don't think it works that way. As for now, it hasn't been ruled on officially by WizKids, so it's up to your venue's judge until it is ruled on by WizKids. But to me, I see what people are saying when they say the result is different from the original result. Or I could see it with the after resolutions, but the word finalized to me means that is your last roll. It only rolled once. Or I'm sorry, the finalized result is different. So it's only checking when the result is finalized. It's not checking each time the roll has been rolled or re-rolled. So to me, you're only going to get 1 mission point for each attack sequence, not for each use of prop. But even with that, this guy's a hoss. Even if you use him the way I think he's meant to be used, and what WizKids will ultimately say, I have no insider information. This is just me saying, if he's used the way I just said that I think he's being used, I still think he's going to be good. If he works the way that some people are speculating right now, he's broken. Next up is Griever. She's okay, not great. Psycho Man, I think, is one of the sleepers in the set, and it has less to do with him, more to do with his equipment. But something to tuck into your back pocket for later when we look at his object is he extends the emotional modifier range from 4 to 8. He does have outwit and shape change, and he has dual target, mind control, and in cap. But we will look at his object later and then come back to why he's so good, or has potential to be good, at least in my opinion. Next, we have Puppet Master. He doesn't KO the clay, the radioactive clay when he uses it. I think I went through the trouble of trying to get one of these, but I don't think this is ultimately a great figure, but it's fun. High Evolutionary, this is 59A. Reason you have him is for his sideline active, which is friendly captains and sidekicks gain +1 when attacking characters with cosmic keyword. I'm not sure, but last time I checked, cosmic keyword is a popular keyword to run. And you can run him at 30 points also. If you wanted to actually put him on the board, it would give you an 11 attack with Psychic Blast and Prob Control, which could be good. And he does have this Isotope E, which we'll look at here in a minute. Then we have the High Evolutionary B. This is the Prime version. When establishing theme teams, animal becomes name theme team. That's important right now. It won't be important in April. And then he has a different isotope that you can attach to him. And then he's got leadership. When he succeeds, remove an action token from another friendly character within range with the animal keyword. And then a stop thing when you can place him anywhere on the map. If you want to run animals, okay, is he game breaking? After April, I don't think so, because the named versus unnamed keywords is not going to be a thing. Victorious is 110 points. I feel like we got better figures for less points, or at least the same figures for less points. She does have traded defend, but only to replace the defensive characters with Doom in their name. So, I mean, I guess maybe Doom bots. I don't know. You could maybe use this, but that's really stretching. This is not a good figure. Next, we have Marquise of Death. 200 points or 60 points. I don't think you're going to have to guess which one I like better. This is an okay figure, not great. Okay, so now we are to the chase figures. Now, let me just say, all the chase figures, when used in conjunction with each other, are good. It's a good mechanic. There's something to be said about it. We're really only going to spotlight two of them. One, because I think it's being misinterpreted again how he works, and the other one is just good. Now, when I don't talk about the other ones, don't take it to heart. They're still good, especially when you start running multiples and you can take advantage of the Many Faces of Doom trait, but these two stand out. So we have the Dr. Doom. This is the DJ Doom. You can run them at 150 or 75. The big thing we're going to look at here is his learn from the past. At the beginning of the game, roll 2d6s and place the result on this card. If Dr. Doom is 150 points, roll 3d6s instead. Whenever an attack roll is made, you may replace a d6 in the roll with a d6 from this card. Now, it doesn't say in this to remove that d6. It doesn't say how you would put a d6 back after you replace the d6 on a roll either. So, again, we're kind of stuck in limbo here of if WizKids says how I would interpret it as a judge, I would say the die comes off and there's no way to replace it, so you got if you're running him at 150, you got 3 dice. If you're running him at 75, you got 2 dice, and then once you burn those, you're done. He would be okay for that. He bordering on good. 75 points I feel like is a little much, especially considering that Adolf Impossible would do the same thing and has a way to readily replenish that die. But this guy is not restricted by range and line of fire or anything like that. So now, if it is interpreted the other way that some people are interpreting it, and you can just either replace it with the die. So let's say you roll a 6, you missed, you rolled a crit miss, you pull one of the ones off, replace it with your 6, and that one goes on your card somehow. Like, that's how you're replacing. This figure goes from good to earth-shattering. It'll be really good at that point. So keep your ear to the ground for when WizKids makes an official ruling. I don't see how they're not going to officially rule that. This figure is going to be played. But for now, ask your judge, do whatever it is your judge says. But those are the two basic ways that he's going to be looked at for that. 75 points gets you an outwit. The time platform, he can... I want that treasure. This is the other thing that he does that's pretty good. Free, once per game, remove a time platform equipped to Doctor Doom from the game. If you do, equip Doctor Doom with an equipment of 10 points or less on an opponent's force on the map, or equipped to one of their characters. So this is a good way to steal... to steal a piece of equipment from your opponent. If you happen to go first and you have the time platform and there is something that your opponent desperately needs, like Ock Arms, then you just remove the time platform and put the Ock Arms on Doom, and there you go. They don't have them. So that is really good also. Again, very good figure if the dice is interpreted the way I believe. If it's not interpreted the way I believe, it will be a phenomenal piece that you'll see a lot of. The other one we're going to take a close look at is Prisoner of Planet Doom. I believe this is the other best chase, but again, even though we're not talking about them, the other chases are good. I think probably the weakest one is that Valeria Von Doom. What's her name? Now I forget what's going on here. Yeah, Valeria Von Doom. She's the weakest one. But anyway, Prisoner of Planet Doom is good. So we got the Many Faces Doom. Doom takes what he wants. Whenever Prisoner of Planet Doom KOs an opposing character after resolutions, choose one. Choose a standard power on that character's card. Prisoner of Planet Doom can use the chosen power this game, or choose a combat value. Prisoner of Planet Doom modifies the chosen combat value +1 this game. His other trait is a world not of my making, yet of my design. At the beginning of the game, if you are not the first player, roll a d6. 3 through 4, first player skips their turn. 5 or 6, first player skips their turn. And this game, Prisoner of Planet Doom may choose both options for his Doom takes what he wants trait. And then he's got Steel Energy at close or range for his entire dial. This guy's sick. Especially if you start talking about, you're KOing some of the power pack, you're KOing some sidekicks. Let me reread something before I go spouting off at the mouth. On that character's card. Okay, so you don't get the powers from the captains, but there's plenty of sidekicks with lots of good juicy powers to take. He would one-shot most of them. This guy's phenomenal. Again, the other ones are good, especially when you consider that you can swap out for exactly what you need. Last figure we're going to take a look at, and then we're going to bebop down to the objects. This is the LE that's for the plate home kit. 45 points, Ultimates, Fantastic Four, 19 defense with barrier. TK, 2 damage without wit. Free, choose a character within range and line of fire. This turn, that character doesn't block line of fire. That's phenomenal, especially when you consider that you could, kind of block lines of fire or block doorways with a colossal figure. And then, Invisible Woman just kind of snaps her finger and says, okay, he's not in the way for line of fire right now, guys. And then, he's back. On your opponent's turn. All right, so first we're going to take a look at some objects. We got Alchemical Fire. This is the one that comes with the Prime Diablo. This one's a little less random. It's not too bad. The Alchemical Potion is just too random. Too random to use. Too many spots. Too many options. Then we've got the Stones of Merlin, which grant invincible when this character is hit with an attack roll d6 1 or 2 after resolutions unequip. Place it in square water terrain. If there's no water terrain on the map, place in a square within 6 squares of the unequipped character. Now, if you had a way of generating water terrain and you could control where this lands, might be okay. Invincible's not bad. For 10 points, I've seen scenarios where I would have been willing to give 10 points for a good reducer. Surfboard, I think, is probably going to be the best object in this set. Grants flight and hypersonic speed. 1 or 2 give the character an action token if they don't have the cosmic keyword. Okay, that's fine. Ultimate Nullifier, I think ultimately is going to be fun. But I don't know. That's a big risk reward. 10 points, roll it, and then you pick a number between 1 and 6. If it's higher than that number, deal X damage to the chosen character. If it's lower, you deal damage to that character, to the character that has the ultimate nullifier. If it's equal to, then they both take that amount of damage. So let's say you picked 6. The best you could hope for is deal 6 damage to yourself and the opposing character. So something to, but if you picked 1, you're always going to at least be doing 1 to the opposing character, but you could still be doing 1 to yourself. Radioactive clay is useless unless you put it on Puppet Master because it destroys itself. There's other better mind control things out here. Isotope E. You may move this object to your... after revealing force, you may move this object to your sideline. If you do, this object has sideline active at the beginning of the game. You may replace a character on your starting force with a character from your sideline of the same name and point value if you do KO this object. So that's something pretty neat there. You can have this object on your thing, on your force, and then you can move it to your sideline, and it basically grants you a replace mechanic that's not... It doesn't have to be Fantastic Four. I think it's really the only one that does, and Frightful Four. So it makes it so that everybody can at least replace one figure. Isotope A is... Oh, and we missed one too. Isotope A, perplex, but only target this character when this character uses it. If the character has the animal keyword, modify the chosen value +2. Again, focusing on animals like the Prime version. Emotional modifier is what we skipped. This goes with Psycho Man. And it's free. Choose one of the following the last 2 next turn. Opposing characters within 4 squares. Modify defense -1. Modify defense attack -1. 4 squares can use Battle Fury. So again, we're upping this to an 8. I saw some people talking about modifying attack -1 and stuff, but I think the key here is going to be using the Battle Fury and then making it so that your opponent has to stop when they're 4 squares away with things like, what's his name? From, well, you could use the capture coils with the Sentinel. Who am I thinking of? The guy from Dark Phoenix Saga. That's the Colossal that makes it so that you can pick. And then there's also Magneto. But anyway, I think this Battle Fury thing is going to be a big deal. Making it so that your character opposing can't range attack. Big deal all day, every day. Next, we've got Time Platform. When this character hits a single opposing character, instead of normal damage, you may place the hit character in its starting area. When this character would take damage, you may instead place them in the starting area. If you do, after resolutions, deal them 1 unavoidable damage and TK the Time Platform. Could be cool. It's a nice get out of jail free card. And then we have the what are they? Legacy cards. These are decent. I think, first of all, I think it's a fabulous idea, and WizKids should run with this. And they're actually going to have their own separate video, but like just the concept and what it means for the game in the future. So make sure to thumbs up this video and leave a comment if you want to see that video. Because it'll move further up the docket if I get a lot of comments, because I think it means big things. But what we'll talk about is Morgan Le Fay. That's far and away the best one. So let's see here, 50 points. It's so she's got some traits. You see her stat line there. First trait, Reborn. Once again, Morgan Le Fay can be played on click number 1 at 100 points or click number 4 at 50 points, and she gains the Mystics team ability, so that's really good there. They decreased her point costs considerably. Then she has, when establishing theme teams, you may treat Avengers and let vary as a single named keyword. I think before it was you could treat Mystics as the thing. So an update there. And then Cold Steel is my bane. Opposing characters deal damage with an object or deal damage using Blaze Claw's Fangs while equipped. Increase damage dealt by 1. Toughness, free, choose one until your next turn. Combat reflexes, energy shield deflection. And then it explains how legacy cards work. She has probability control and the perplex, like we said. So perplex for 50 points. This is by far the best one. All right, so you guys let me know what you think of this set in the comments below. I always enjoy reading that stuff. Let me know what you thought of Clicks Nexus. If you want me to use them or if you want me to start using HC Realms again, I'm always interested to read that stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a share. That helps let people see these videos, overcome the algorithm, and also might introduce 1 or 2 new people to the game of Heroclix. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.